Hey Marvel's Avengers fans, we're excited to show you all of the updates you can expect on next generation consoles, available for upgrades starting March 18th at no additional cost. From the minute you boot up the game to getting back into the action after being down, faster load times make sure that you can get back to fighting AIM as fast as possible. Higher resolution textures and translucency will bring a new level of detail to objects, characters, environments, and even particles. You'll see improvements across the board, including ambient occlusion quality, anisotropic filtering, and 60 FPS at 4K. Hulk smashes are even bigger with our improved destruction. Smashing through walls, doors, and enemies is always fun with the big green guy, and with improved destruction, the possibilities for Hulk epic smashes are endless. Not to be outdone, all of our heroes will see an improvement in their unique heroics across the board. Finally, teaming up as Earth's mightiest heroes has never been easier with cross-generation multiplayer, allowing you to continue to team up with friends within the same console family. Thanks for joining, and we're excited for you to experience this definitive superhero experience of Marvel's Avengers for console players starting March 18th at no additional cost.
Hi everyone. How's it going?
Hi.
Can you guys hear us? First of all, gotta do our usual tech check because, you know, using my home setup as always. Can you guys hear Hannah?
Hello?
Yes?
Yay!
Yay! Okay. Awesome. So, hope you guys enjoyed the trailer. We posted that last week, I think. So, what we're going to do here today is we're going to play through the Reassemble campaign from start to however far we get in the span of an hour, and we're going to continue on tomorrow and the day after with different people from the narrative team. Although Hannah, you're coming back on Thursday, I believe.
I am, yeah.
Yes. So Hannah, just real quickly, I know you were on Michael's stream the other day. If you just want to do a quick intro of yourself in case people don't know who you are.
Sure. I'm Hannah McLeod. I'm one of the writers/narrative designers on Marvel's Avengers. And yeah, I'm just very excited to see the campaign again. It's been a while.
Yeah. I think we all love this campaign so much. I've played it at least 10 times, so I can't wait to play it an 11th time. Hannah's not frozen, everyone. Her face is not frozen.
It's a screen cap.
We made it seem like she is talking to me through webcam, but that is a screen cap. She is on voice only.
Yeah, sorry.
No, we're all working from home and everything, and you know, we all got to make sure that everything is a-okay with us. So she's not frozen, but if you guys, you know, if it's like some weird time thing that you guys want to imagine, then go for it.
Yes.
So before we get into it, we do want to say that. I'm gonna switch over to something that Hannah hasn't seen, but you are gonna see. We have something for you guys. There we go. So we're gonna tweet this out pretty soon. This is what's coming in the Hawkeye patch. This is a pretty big thing for us. There's, you know, new hero Hawkeye, who we're gonna get into more on Friday. We have a bunch of people coming in to talk about Hawkeye's combat, to showcase his combat, to do narrative. Nicole and Keanu are going to be there. We have his story. You're going to fight Maestro, a new biome, the Wasteland. Next Gen is coming out on the 18th. We're going to show that off today, so we'll get into that later. And then, of course, customizable harm rooms are coming. We announced that yesterday, where you can just, as I said in the tweet, live your superhero dreams and just see what you can do. And you can replay the campaign on the 18th. I'm actually going to show it off right in a few seconds of how to do it. But yeah, this is something that we've been seeing over and over again on Twitter and socials, on everything. You know, can we replay the campaign? Can we replay the campaign? You can on the 18th. You will keep everything you have, or you keep XP, you know, your gear and everything. But you can replay the campaign from start to finish, and this is something we're really excited about, and why we're actually kind of doing this to begin with.
Yay.
Yay! Hannah, are you super excited for people to replay the campaign?
I am. We put so much love into that, and I'm just really like I'm excited to get to replay it, but I'm also very excited that other people can too.
Same. All right, so hi, we're back here on this camera. We're gonna tweet we're gonna tweet out that image after this stream. So don't feel the need to like screen cap, or I mean, you can if you want, totally. But we will tweet out that infographic after. So without further ado, let's just get to it. And the first thing that you guys are gonna see, in the background, is our new starting screen. We'll show that off on Friday, but it's there for you guys if you want to look really closely. So yeah, all you do is go to the operation database, and you see the reassemble. It's just as easy as reset campaign progress, and it says it's gonna give you a warning, of course, but I'm okay with that. And I'm thinking about going easy just because I have a hard time talking and playing at the same time. So I'm gonna go easy.
That's how I play it.
So the whole point of this is to just have developer narrative commentary. So just going from this first thing that we're seeing, Hannah, and into the first scene that we're gonna see with Kamal and her father, like, did you guys always know that was gonna be the first scene to start with?
I don't think we knew it was going to be the first scene, but because we knew the story was going to be about Kamala and her story, grounding it in her, like in the comics, her family relationship is so key to her character that grounding our story, even as it gets crazy and wild, in her family was definitely really important to us. And I just love this scene. God, Sandra, who plays Kamala, is so talented. She played all of her younger self as well. So she did all of the mocap for young Kamala. And I remember her doing this scene, and she just so clearly had all this excitement.
Aww.
About getting to meet the Avengers, and it was, God, yeah.
She is an amazing person. I would love to have her on like any sort of live stream one of these days, because
Yeah,
I think
we
she
should
can
definitely
offer
get her.
so much into this, like how much people love Kamala and everything.
Yeah.
And Kamala here you wrote this fan fiction that she's going through, right?
I did, yes. I did. So she enters a fan fiction competition, and that's how she gets to go to A-Day. And the comic book that she's flipping through is the comic book version of her fanfic, and I actually got to write that, which was really, really fun. And then we had an artist actually draw it. So they drew the whole comic booky version, and we actually gave it out at New York Comic Con. So a select few people who went to our panel there got to actually physically have Kamala's comic.
You have it like hung up somewhere on your wall?
I do. I got multiple editions, so that one of them I could read, and then one of them I could frame on my wall.
Oh, nice. No sound from the game. Let me see where that's coming from. There we go. That should fix it. If there's an echo, let me know. So I just want to tell everyone that this is the PS5 version of the game. This isn't, like a PS4 version being played on a PS5. This is actually, we're playing on PS5. There's upgraded visuals, as you saw, upgraded destruction. There's haptic feedback for the PS5, where every single one of the characters, their combat is completely retuned to ensure that, you're feeling it on the actual controller. I'm excited for that. A lot of, I haven't played this game on the PS5 version. I played it very little, but not the whole thing, so I can't wait to actually feel the haptic feedback in all its glory, if you will.
Oh my gosh, it's been so long since I've seen this.
I know. How did you guys build A-Day at all?
Oh my god, A-Day was so... It was definitely one of the most difficult levels to work on, because we wanted to really introduce it as like a fan as experiencing the Avengers, and not just as like like a superhero. It's much more, relatable and how you might experience if you got to meet the Avengers. Um, oh God, probably one of my favorite things about this level is you can actually listen to the background conversations of the crowd, and those were all done as walla, which is basically we put a group of people in a booth together and then give them kind of a prompt and they just run with it. And so they'll do like the murmuring conversations of the background and they'll like catch what someone else is saying and run with that. And so it's all natural instead of scripted. God, so I just love standing around and listening to them.
That's really interesting. Like every time you guys give like little background scenes and everything, it's news to me too. So I love this just as much as everyone else. Is that something that you do for like whenever there's any sort of crowd or?
Yeah, for group scenes, we'll do some scripted stuff, especially if we want to get certain like tones across. But God, Walla actors are so talented. They're so good at really just taking like you'll give them a general prompt like, okay, these characters are standing around looking at Thor, and you'll have someone's talking about how much they love his hair and things like that. Oh, it's really fun. I get to listen to their isolated VO, but because we get to hear it all after they record it. But once they put it in the level, it really brought everything to life.
Oh, that's so cool. So, we are about to meet Thor. What was your guys's just like everything for it? Did you mean for her to meet them all individually one by one? Was there a different plan? Like what was going on there?
Kamala meeting Thor is probably one of the first things that we really set. We knew that we wanted Tony and Thor to have kind of an antagonistic relationship at the beginning, because they're both very not full of themselves, but they
They
like
are.
themselves a lot. And so we wanted to kind of put Thor in this Iron Man booth so that he's just very confronted by a lot of Iron Man stuff. So we knew we wanted just kind of that moment to really exemplify that Thor and Tony aren't getting along. I love this scene because it just it just exemplifies so much about this game of who Kamala is.
Yeah.
Yes, she's starstruck by him, as anyone would be, but she also kind of puts him in his place a little bit, which I really like. Because this is the Avengers kind of at their height when they're like really at their most confident, at their most cocky, and Kamala just kind of shows them there's still more to learn. They're not perfect. But also there's so much to love about being a superhero. Oh, I love this performance.
Same. I think I love how Thor is just so kind of like nonchalant too. He kind of just hops in. Oh, what's this? What's going on? Like you can tell that he's been doing this for a while, and this is normal for him. Whereas Kamala is just, this is unreal for her. So just the juxtaposition there, you guys did amazing.
Yeah, I also love his whole interaction with the mini Mjolnir keychain. It's oh my god, just watching Travis Willingham do that was funny, but getting to see him full in costume and looking at the dinky little keychain, absolutely loved it.
Were you actually there when they were mocapping?
I was not. We got to see videos afterward, which the first time I saw our Avengers together, I cried. Because this group of actors is so good and they know each other so well because they've been in a bunch of things together. So it really felt like a couple of superheroes coming together to, fight crime.
Yeah.
It's really great. And I think Sandra, they really took under their wing. And she changed the energy in the room just by being there. And I think that's really what Kamala does to the Avengers too.
Yeah, hearing Sandra talk about it, it's so true that all these amazing, talented voice actors, they knew each other, and she was the new kid, just like it is in the Avengers, and it just, the way it panned out was, like, amazing.
Yeah.
So we're meeting Cap. This is almost everyone's favorite scene in the beginning.
A lot of people have mentioned this scene to me.
What was the thought process behind this?
So we knew we wanted Kamala to have interactions with the other Avengers in this level because we knew that she was going to be alone or only with Bruce for a lot of the later part of the game. So we wanted her to have an impact on them before she met them again 5 years later. So we knew that we wanted some type of scene where Cap would meet Kamala and it would stick in his mind in some way.
Mm.
And we went through a lot of different drafts of this scene and what it was that was going to stand out to Cap. And I think using a quote from the comics for her little speech here, it showed both Cap that he's having an impact, and also that Kamala really knows the Avengers well, really knows them, loves them, and believes that everyone should be able to love them and know them too.
Yeah, and the necklace or the lanyard that Kamala's wearing, we actually made those.
We did.
I have.
And I think you can also get the little Avengers pin in the Ultimate Edition as well. So I put one on my jacket. It made me really happy. It says Honorary Avenger on it.
Aww.
It's so cute.
It is. Yeah, I still use the lanyard as kind of like the lanyard that I use. I mean, if we were at work,
Yes.
But if we're not.
If we were at work, it would definitely be the lanyard I'd use.
Your story had the evil.
Again, she kind of like she surprises them. She surprises them because at this point, I think even when they're at their peak and they're most confident, the Avengers are still a little jaded about their job. I mean, this is all pomp and circumstance. So Kamala just kind of reminds him that, there's a human element to this.
I saw him, yeah.
Yeah, and then Black Widow comes in here, just like really, just all of a sudden shocking Kamala. It even shocked me.
Interesting note, this line that that Black Widow has about the fanfic was written before the fanfic was written.
Really?
Yes. So we had a line of that thing you had me do with the Storm Drain cover. Was written before I'd ever written the fanfic, so I then had to work that in when I wrote the actual fanfiction. So Black Widow had to do something. And you can read it. You can collect it as Intel document drops. You can read it in its entirety. But you're going to have to search for the documents in order to do it.
There are some just all around the tables and everything. I know a lot of people find a lot of entertainment and going through the codex, going through the information and everything. And you guys have a big part in doing that, right?
Yes, we do. Yeah, we just want to make sure that the Intel documents fill out the story a lot and the world, because yes, this is Kamala's story, but the Avengers have a pretty worldwide impact. So when they disband, when all of that happens, we wanted to show that there's an impact just beyond, our singular story. But yes, I also got the chance to actually write her whole fan fiction, which all we had was that line from Black Widow and the title, "The Avengers versus the Evil Sewer Lizards," and then I just got to run with it.
Was that harder or easier knowing that you had some sort of prompt there?
It was a little bit easier. I wrote fan fiction growing up, so if I'd just been like, okay, I can write any fan fiction I want, I might have been a little frozen. But having the title there and having, okay, Black Widow does something cool with a Storm Drain cover, definitely helped a lot.
Nice. As I'm picking up these comics, I'm like, so I always talk about this, but the wall in front of me is covered in prints of Marvel comics in my actual room.
Yeah.
So I'm just realizing now that I have some of these comics up on my wall, which is kind of cool. Random fact.
Yeah, it's. I mean, at this point, we're all comic book nerds. Even if we didn't start reading comics until we worked on this game, but all of the devs read comics now.
Oh yeah, totally. So this whole Bruce, Monica, Tarleton thing. What do you guys want to set up here?
Oh, so we had a lot of talks about this trio and kind of who they are, and we originally thought about possibly like a jealousy element between Tarleton and Bruce, and we thought that was too easy. We wanted their relationship to be more complicated, and especially since Bruce disavows the Avengers later, to have him almost be friends with Tarleton, and obviously being in a relationship with Monica, it puts him on the outs of everybody else when they turn on them. And having Monica really be, and this is kind of spoilers for later in the
Spoiler
game,
alert, everyone.
but Monica really being the one holding the strings was very important to us, because we actually think Tarleton has a lot more in common with Kamala, just in terms of they've both been through something pretty traumatic. Monica, on the other hand, has been in control the whole time, and she's very manipulative. She knows how to sweet talk people the way that they need to be talked to, and so she really has both of these guys wrapped around her finger. And so we really wanted to set that up here, that these two are actually friends. They got along, and Monica's really the person just moving all of the pieces.
Yeah, and hearing Jolene, the voice actor for Monica, talk about her, it's enlightening because the Avengers, from Jolene's point of view, the Avengers are not necessarily her enemy. They're just in her way.
Yeah, exactly.
When she said that, I'm like, whoa, that's
Yeah.
totally true. Was that your intention?
I don't think Monica considers anyone her nemesis. She really just thinks of everyone as either an obstacle or an advantage in any situation. She's very calculating about that sort of thing. She's all about the pursuit of knowledge, which is big for AIM and advanced idea mechanics. And so if someone gets in the way, they're just something to be dealt with. But if something can help her, like getting Bruce and Tarleton on her side, then that's even better.
And here is Mr. Fury,
Fury.
who is wrapped in the narrative of Kate and Clint, and we'll probably go into that on Friday, everyone,
Yeah,
when we...
you get to hear more about Nick Fury.
Yeah. No spoilers, though.
No spoilers.
But yeah, on Friday we're going to be showing off Hawkeye, his combat, all the skills that... the same thing as we did with Kate. That hopefully this time we have better internet when we stream it, so it's not as choppy, but again, I'm using home internet. Never know what's going to happen.
Oh, I love her little sloth phone case.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I forgot about that detail. Kamala likes sloths. If you look in the background of some of her spaces, you'll see that she's got sloth plushies and things like that.
As there's a sloth on our stream border, actually.
Yes, that's true.
I love this scene, by the way. It is so
Where
like...
Tony comes in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because you were talking about, like, you wanted the character to be there, and for this, it's super explosive for Tony. It's like, kind of, in a weird way, exactly how Tony would be introduced in a game, right?
Exactly. Well, and we also knew that there was no way Kamala was going to be able to, when he's at his height, really put him in his place yet. That's definitely going to happen later in the game. At this point, Tony is way too full of himself to actually learn something. So instead, we just gave him this bombastic moment so that we could then knock him down a peg later.
Yeah. Everyone in chat, what is your favorite moment from A-Day? And we're going to replay this. We are going to show new content on Friday. We hear you guys. This is for fun, and just to show off our game in on next gen. But yeah. What is everyone's favorite part of A-Day?
Oh, my favorite part, I'm very biased because I wrote it, was Kamala meeting Thor. It was the first time I really got a laugh in my writing on Avengers, so I was very proud of myself for that. But I also, if you follow Thor out and just wait there, he starts talking to some fans. He gets swarmed by fans, and there's this one girl from the Walla group who just, like, loves him, loves and adores him, and her the way the Walla group did it, her boyfriend is standing next to her.
Oh, really?
She's fawning over this. So yeah, I love that moment. I will usually wait and just listen to it just so that I can hear it again. It's really funny.
Nice. That water. So as I play this, I might just be a little surprised from the haptic feedback, because I know it's different. So I have played it a little bit just to see what the haptic feedback on the PS5 would feel like. But if I'm surprised, you guys know why. We'll see. So we went from basically a theme park to now everything has gone awry.
Yeah.
What is this, like something that you guys always knew was going to happen? How did you set this up?
This was definitely a level we worked on very early, because this was really our way to show off the Avengers at their height, doing what they do. But it's also, like, the A-Day event inspires everything else about the story. So we knew we needed it to be big and bombastic and catastrophic. But this is also the way we introduced how to play each of the Avengers, so it had to do double duty. And yeah, I've looked at this level so many times to get it just right, because it's like, here are our Avengers, here's us introducing them at their height, we better do it right.
Yeah, I think we've all seen this level so many times, especially like when we're on, you know, we're doing the events and everything, since this is what we showed, and this is what people were. Oh, okay. Okay, then that surprised me. Oh wow, okay. The triggers are definitely, you know, they take some force to throw Mjolnir. I like that. Okay, I'm gonna do this. And yeah, I could actually feel the reverberation too of Mjolnir, so that's pretty cool. If only you guys will be able to feel it soon enough. I love this. So in your talk with Michael, with revealing too much, I think I just saw him. I think he's in here. Hi, Michael, if you're in here.
Hi, Michael.
Hi. You said like narrative sometimes is heavily based off of the design or the combat or like what's going on in terms of gameplay. Was that a big thing about A-Day, pretty much, or just anything?
It definitely was. I think this was definitely a gameplay-driven level, but at the same time, we were all driving towards the disaster at the end of it. So even though, yes, this was very gameplay-driven and we had to introduce the characters' powers properly and that kind of thing, I still think that the designers were doing a great job of escalating everything. So yeah, but I will say we rewrote this level a lot. It's one of the first times you see the Avengers, and there was so much pressure to get them right, especially since we knew it was going to be the demo level. So I would say we were the most self-conscious about this level.
I think my first day starting at Crystal, they showed me this level. I mean, you know, usually when people start on their first day, you don't really know what to expect. I was expecting a lot of paperwork, which obviously there was, but like, they were like, here, sit down, we're gonna just show you the game from the beginning to the end, you know, as far as it was at that point. And I loved it. I was like, oh, this is crazy, because I had no idea what you know, what game it was before I was hired.
Yeah.
So that was cool. And this, when Iron Man comes in, this is that antagonistic thing that you were talking about, right?
Yeah, they're definitely they're basically, I compare it to like the competition between Legolas and Gimli in Lord of the Rings. I mean, yes, they're on a team, but at the same time, they may be keeping score of how many enemies they take out so that they can compare later.
Nice. Yeah, this entire sequence right now with Iron Man, you can really feel it in the controller. I can assure you that much. And this is not technically a final version of, you know, of the PS5. Just to let everyone know, things are still in development. But this is. Sorry, I'm like really focusing.
It's okay. This definitely takes a lot of focus.
That's why.
Definitely one bombastic thing to another. But I love that every Avenger really gets their moment to shine here.
Yeah.
Tony being one of my favorite characters, so I'm very partial to it.
You are missing Andy. I know. I mean, that's why I put on easy for this. It's hard for me to like play and talk at the same time, but that's why we have Hannah here.
Guys, just be glad I'm not the one playing, because I would have already died a few times on easy mode.
This is like a part of the demo where just like seeing people play it at all the events that a lot of people have found was actually difficult, which is understandable because like it's brand new. You know, you just played Thor and now you're playing a brand new character. So, but who can fly? Because Thor can fly, but not in this GGB demo.
Yes. Yeah, that's always a trick with flying characters. You have to figure out how far they're allowed to go at any given time. It's also really interesting to watch GGB, Golden Gate Bridge, get blown to smithereens since our studio is up in the Bay Area.
Oh, it is. I live in San Francisco too.
Yeah, so it's always funny to just kind of be like, oh, hey, we're just destroying a little landmark.
Was San Francisco just like, was that always the idea?
I wasn't around when they made the decision, but I assume it was always the idea because the whole idea of the West Coast Avengers and you know having a new office of sorts on the West Coast was a big part of their story to show that the Avengers may have been growing too big too fast. So it also helps us because I think a lot of Avengers content happens in New York for obvious reasons, and so it's kind of cool to show them in a different place. Also, if you haven't checked out the West Coast Avengers comics, they are hilarious. If you want more Kate Bishop, well worth it.
Okay, I should. I'm still, oh, okay, this is everyone's favorite Hulk attack. The grabbing.
I mean, I'm also really partial to when he throws tanks later.
True. I am still on the My Life as a Weapon I've been reading that for like a while now. But I'm still on that. Oh wait, let me kill this one last guy. And I was talking to, I guess I could talk more about this on Friday, but we actually do talk about Hawkeye. But I was talking to Giacomo, the voice actor, I think a few days ago, and he is so, like, also reading the comics and everything, and it was nice, and I was like, yes, Hawkeye nerds.
Yeah, that's amazing. Giacomo's great.
All right. Here we go. Everyone in chat, I asked you what your favorite part about A-Day was, but as we're going to go through this campaign, like, what's your guys' favorite mission overall in the entire Reassemble campaign? Oh, okay. We didn't see that, everyone, all right? We didn't see that. I might have...
Someone in chat is going to start keeping count of how often you die.
Look, you know, talking and playing, you know, the whole thing. We're gonna pretend that didn't happen. Erase that from your memories.
Everyone forget.
But yeah, what was everyone's favorite mission in the Reassemble campaign overall? I think one of mine is Golden Acres, which I hope we can get to tomorrow.
Yeah, that is a good one.
How about you?
I'm partial to space. I think that one is just really fun, flying an out-of-control Iron Man suit up into space, and then getting to, spoiler alert, get Cap back.
Spoilers.
I'm very into those.
I hope we can... We're gonna get as far as we can in 3 days, everyone. We might skip around, you know, because I do want to get to Jersey City, and we are, like, kind of halfway done already. So, I might skip a few cinematics, but we'll see. I'm playing as fast as I can.
This is, up here, is like my favorite part of this level.
Oh yeah?
I love it so much. He shakes him out like a can and then drop kicks him.
That is, when I first saw, this moment, I'm like, oh, there it is. There's Hulk, right there.
Oh, I love it.
And I love how there's these cinematics just right in the middle in between each of these Avengers to really set them up, because in this, you know, we're about to, spoiler alert everyone, we're about to go to Cap, right?
Yes.
So this is just like, to me, it showed like, you know, they're all on the bridge and they're all kind of like arguing already, and to me it's like, it shows how much Cap actually does mean to their group overall. Are we gonna... Okay, here we go.
I'm having trouble hearing.
Nat, do you read?
So, was it interesting having this Cap section in here? Knowing that, you know, knowing that things were gonna happen to him.
I know, right? Oh, yes, absolutely. Because we know when we're writing it what's going to happen to him, there's this very dark undertone to this whole fight. Because it's like, oh god, he's gonna win, but that's all. That's all that's gonna happen, and then he's gonna be gone. This was definitely a hard one to write for, because we didn't want to foreshadow it too much. But Cap is so important to the team, and his death, quote unquote, it just affects everybody. But at least you do get to kick ass as him before that happens.
Yeah. Cap is my main, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My boyfriend's too. He's a big fan of Cap.
Nice.
Carlton, I need an update. The reactor won't stabilize.
This scene, actually, like when we first revealed the entire Golden Gate Bridge scene, we took this out of Tarleton.
Yeah, because we didn't want to spoil MODOK.
We didn't. But like, you guys wanted to really sprinkle in the threat.
Oh yeah. We also thought it was interesting to show Tarleton before, you know, everything happens, before he basically betrays the Avengers. It's so interesting to see him as human, because what he turns into is so monstrous. But even to show Cap talking to Tarleton, it's not even just Bruce and fellow scientists that are friends with him. Cap knows him and trusts him. So it was a cool foreshadowing of everything that happened.
And then after this, Cap goes away. Spoilers, he doesn't actually, everyone. But I think you guys all know that. If there are any new players who haven't played Ada yet, apologies for any potential spoilers.
Yes.
And this right here, I think we revealed this. Kamala reacting to everything.
During the Kamala reveal. Oh my god.
This was amazing, and I mean I wasn't there, but like the reaction from the audience was apparently something like
It was surreal. Surreal.
Did you guys
and
want
here
to
it
always
comes.
like show things like with Kamala?
Yeah, I sat on her reveal for so long. Once we finally announced it, it was just like, finally I can talk about the best thing. Oh, here comes Taskmaster.
Taskmaster.
First boss fight.
So this was the first boss fight I've ever worked on
Oh,
in my game writing career.
how was that?
It was so difficult.
Oh, in what ways?
Well, because it's so player driven. The order of everything is based on, you know, player interaction and everything, so there's no linearity to it. So it's really difficult. Plus, I wanted it to feel like cool, because you're Black Widow kicking this dude's butt.
Yeah.
And I wanted it to feel cool and not cheesy, so I was constantly second guessing myself. And they changed the fight so much to get it to really feel good. So it's lots of little tweaks and little tweaks and little tweaks that led to getting that fight.
Oh yeah. I think one of my favorite things about this scene is you see the rest of the Avengers like shortly, you know, saving people. Like right here, you're gonna see she's gonna say Tony, because it's a truck falling. You see Hulk right there, doing what he does, and it's just like, again, it's a team, you know.
Yes.
These little small things that the team decided on this whole sequence was great to me.
There was also a lot of backstory we had to come up with for Black Widow and Taskmaster, and our version of their story and their history that we had to work out so early in the game to make sure, because obviously we wanted to show that the Avengers have been doing this a long time, and so we could have been like, this is the first time you're meeting Taskmaster, but that was a lot less interesting than they have a history, and Taskmaster has a bone to pick.
Yeah.
In terms of fighting Natasha.
I love that there's a backstory, because you know we could have just as easily just set them up against each other, right?
Mm-hmm.
But there is like you said, a bone to pick, so it does make it more personal.
Exactly.
All right, let me see if I can do
Taskmaster
this.
was Anthony Masters. He was a S.H.I.E.L.D. agent, and he betrayed them. So getting Black Widow, I mean, I think it just makes the fight feel so much better, because it feels like Black Widow is really so much better than this guy.
Oh, totally. All right, that took me a lot longer than I wanted it to, everyone. By the way, I'm not streaming in 4K. You know, that would just kill my home computer. So, it does look really good to me, and I'm not just saying that.
Damn it. Hand it over.
I'm gonna get it.
All right. The first time I did this fight, I died.
Taking your usual
I definitely died. I mean, I've gotten really good at it because I was writing it, and so I had to play it a lot. But the first few times.
So they have a lot of banter going on right now. Is that something that how did you decide that as like because things might not happen where you know hear
Exactly.
things. So how was that?
Yeah. So instead of thinking about like trying to tell their story in a linear way, like as you progress through the fight, instead we wanted each piece of banter to add to the story in some way. So they weren't dependent on each other, but each piece kind of filled out the relationship between these two and how Taskmaster kind of has an inferiority complex
Oh yeah.
involved with their relationship. And so it was a lot of like buckets of banter that any one of these will expand the story, but they are not dependent on each other to make sense.
I'm after something much more valuable.
Nice.
I won't spoil the surprise.
I love the
Focusing right
graphics.
now. All right.
Still trying to piece it together?
You giving up?
Not a chance.
This is the part where
No.
you just
You've learned your moves.
Yep.
Yeah.
Left you.
That you're not the brains behind this. And this smells like distraction. I'm done talking.
Coward.
Don't like surprises? Next time, take better notes.
bam. Favorite part.
Yes. We definitely have a game where you have villains that are very satisfying to beat up.
Guess you saw that coming, huh?
All right. Now here's the moment.
What the hell are you talking about?
Look around, Romanoff. The world will remember this day. The day their heroes failed them.
Oh, the day their heroes failed them. That cuts deep. So everything is kind of leading up to like what you said, this catastrophic moment right here.
Yeah.
When, spoiler alert, everyone, you know, Cap goes down with the helicarrier. What was it, the emotional weight behind this, and how did you approach it?
Well, we really had to think about every single Avenger and their relationship with Cap, because if they'd all reacted exactly the same, I don't think it would have been as interesting. But you know, Black Widow sees him as almost an equal of sorts. They both feel the weight of leadership, versus I think Tony and Thor, whether they admit it to themselves or not, really look up to him. He's the good one. He's the best of them. And then in terms of Hulk and Bruce, we really liked the idea that he was almost in denial about it. We think we like to think that Hulk has a different relationship with each of the heroes than Bruce does. We like that difference there. And we just, yeah, it was definitely an emotional day when we watched the videos from the mocap set too, knowing that, you know, they were losing somebody really, really core to their team, and I just think everybody, again, killed it, because our cast is so good.
Yeah, and then this little segment right here is just everything that's leading up to the present day, where we're going to take control of Kamala in just a bit. This is a lot to pack in like a matter of minutes, but it's super important, right? To just see like how that day just affected the entire world, basically.
Well, it's like what happens if your heroes, the people that you love most, cause a huge amount. Well, they think they cause a huge amount of destruction.
That's true.
We talked about how we wanted to show what happened in the 5-year gap, and we were, yeah. This is the. It was just very hard to pin down exactly how we wanted to show all this.
I don't have those answers, but I can promise you
And there's Tarleton just being the figure for everyone to find hope in.
Yeah,
When in reality, Kamala is going to do that for them.
definitely.
Comforting words to those families.
And here we go.
By the disease.
This is Kamala. We're going to get into Kamala's room, right?
Many criticize
Yes.
Amy's
Yes.
tactics.
There's so much going on in her room. Like, did you guys like have a say in what was going on? Were you part of the design of this?
A little bit. We had thoughts here and there. We certainly gave feedback, but honestly, our set designers are so good at what they do that every time we watched the scene again and saw everything they added, we were just like, they've taken our characters and they've totally brought it to life in Kamala's room. This was one of the first scenes that we really saw Sandra come into her own as Kamala.
If you get it right,
Just really that old style forum. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So it's been 5 years since everything happened to Kamala. What has changed with her? What's going on in her mind?
Sure.
I think her relationship with her dad is the biggest change, as much as the Avengers and everything, all of those big things. But her dad saw what happened to her on A-Day, and he knows about her powers and really wants to protect her basically from them and protect her from the world. He's seen what happens, and it used to be that he was so encouraging of her to get out there and be herself, and now he doesn't know how to let her be that and let her be safe at the same time. And I thought it was so important. I mean, we all thought it was so important to just see that he loves her. He's trying to protect her. Because we've seen with A-Day what happens when you have superpowers.
You don't get it.
And so that relationship has so shifted, but for Kamala, it feels like nothing has changed. Yes, she has powers, but she still believes in the Avengers. She still believes in the superheroing cause. And we wanted to make it very clear that over the course of 5 years, that resolve has not changed.
What?
Yeah, everyone's spamming Abu Love in chat. Please do.
Yes, he's so great.
He is amazing, and like what you said, in some ways, like what Kamala says, you don't understand, but if you are a parent, if you are in his place, he is trying to do the best that he can possibly do with the situation, knowing, he steps into this room, it's all the Avengers, knowing, where her heart lies, and it's difficult.
He doesn't know how to both protect her and encourage her at the same time, and Brian George is amazing, and he navigates this so well.
So that I love you more thing, how did that come out to be?
Oh my God, I'm in.
I think that was kind of a combination of all of us thinking about our parents and how they try to protect us. I'm definitely a daddy's girl. I love my father, and we have a very close relationship. And I definitely saw a lot of that in trying to figure out how she would relate to Abu. But at the same time, we really just wanted something that tied them together, even when they weren't together. It's kind of a way of saying, I'm okay. Things are okay between us, even though there's conflict here right now.
Better check this out at headquarters.
And now Kamala goes on her journey. She officially starts her journey in Jersey City.
Guess I really kicked the hornet's nest.
You had a big part in
Get to headquarters
I
and check
the
this
narrative in Jersey City, right?
This was the first level I ever worked on.
Nice.
And I feel so very attached to it because I've seen it since it was, gray blocks before there were any buildings or anything like that here. There's a lot of, Easter eggs on the walls and in people's windows. There's a one-off about, I think is still in the game, about a grumpy Mr. Stafford.
Oh, really?
Yes, which is our narrative director, in case people didn't know. We may have name dropped him in here as one of Kamala's neighbors. There's a lot of hidden documents to be picked up here in this level. You can get the first chapter of Kamala's fanfic in this level. So that's a fun one to look for. I love all of the chalk drawings and things like that are around here to show that Kamala's kind of made her safe space, her space where she can be totally herself.
Yeah, and I'm just rushing through this, or else I would stop at all the Easter eggs.
Yes.
I did
But
pick up a comic though.
we at least want to get to her treehouse, which
I
is what
know.
we call it.
We're almost there.
Yes.
All right, here we go. So a while ago, you actually did, behind the scenes for different backgrounds and everything that we released, and you talked a little bit about her treehouse. But do you want to go into it a little bit more since we're here now?
Sure. So this space was so important to the entire team. I mean, design, art, everybody really wanted to show that Kamala had made a space for herself where she is free to be a hero, where she is free to use her powers, where she isn't. She's also not bothering her father. Like, she's not worrying her father with it. Because I think that's the thing that her relationship with Abu is really getting at in that opening scene, is she knows that it troubles her dad to be involved with all of this. She knows that he's scared for her. So she needed a space where she didn't have to think about that, where she didn't have that pressure. And I love this space because it feels so joyful. Even as it's got, kind of the serial killer board with all of the yarn on the background, there's still so much warmth in this space. It's where her real computer is. It's where she keeps a lot of her Avengers paraphernalia that she might not otherwise keep in her room. You actually get to see some of her decorations that she has both in here and her room in the helicarrier later, to show that she's kind of moved in and made her room more of her space.
No way.
Nice.
Tarleton sealed him in.
And this is kind of basically the inciting incident for her.
Oh my god, he killed Cap.
Suddenly there's proof of the thing she always believed.
What? Tiny Dancer?
Also, we put Captain Marvel stuff everywhere because it's her favorite Avenger.
Mm-hmm.
Oh no.
So the whole Tiny Dancer thing, as we're seeing it now, I mean, we'll see her a bit later. I don't know if we're gonna have time to actually see her, but like
Rose Park?
in the typing thing, was that always something that was in the
Be a
mix
trap.
with spoiler alert, with Black Widow?
Yeah, Black Widow's kind of role in the game changed a lot over the course of development. But once we figured out that yes, she was going to be part of the core team, it was a matter of, we really again wanted each of the heroes to have a moment with Kamala 5 years later. And I think we had to think about, if the Avengers were disbanded, what would Black Widow be doing? Well, she'd go back to her spy ways. That's what she knows how to do. So she would infiltrate AIM. She would have secret identities. She would monitor people who are trying to fight against AIM in order to protect them. So that's really where her secret identity came from. Tiny Dancer was a screen name that took many, many different versions.
Oh,
before
really?
We settled on that one, because we really wanted it to, for the keen-eyed player, for them to really understand. Oh, that's Black Widow, but not make it too obvious. So we went on her ballerina history, and we actually make a couple of Elton John references in this game.
Oh, nice. This scene I loved because it shows more of just what the world has turned into, right?
Exactly.
And Kamala has probably been living this the entire time.
Yeah.
Tony is a rocket man. Yes, he is.
Yes, he is.
So do you guys also like decide, when these moments happen, when the drone sees her and everything?
Yeah,
Nice.
that is a collaborative effort for sure. A lot of it is for pacing too, because there's pacing in gameplay just like there is in a scene. And there's ways to make this not feel monotonous, and those little performance moments definitely do that. We also just wanted to really establish AIM is just kind of everywhere now.
which
Oh,
they totally are.
I love her slide.
Yeah.
Not graceful, but made it. Okay.
All right,
Get
we
to the
are
next
in
section.
Heroes Park now. What was
Hello, heroes.
the narrative behind this?
So, Heroes Park is
Parents
really
used to bring me here
the
all the time when I was a kid.
way we show just how far the Avengers have fallen in 5 years.
Fallen
It's in
humans.
disrepair.
All
It's
missing.
there's construction. They're planning
This
to
is
knock
what I
things
was
down.
really worried
But
about.
this wall of missing is really the thing that is keeping Kamala
Should be a good place to
searching.
stake out
That
Cat's
she knows
statue
there's
up ahead.
something not right. We like the idea that she visits this place a lot. She's not supposed to, but she visits a lot just to remind herself that what she's doing matters. What she's trying to figure out, the truth of it all matters.
Tearing this place down to build their new clinic.
There's also there's a couple of hints towards some characters on the wall. There's an Inhuman that's missing named Jessica Yee, who is a cloning Inhuman that becomes important later in the story. And so we tried to drop, the idea that there's a lot more people than just Kamala being affected by this AIM overtaken moment.
Yeah, and you see here is like when
Tiny.
her inner superhero, comes out a little bit in this scene.
Yeah.
And it's very reminiscent of when she first met Cap back at A-Day.
She can't stand by and see
Hey,
people picked on,
you
especially for something that she also believes in.
really?
The actors who did this scene were so talented. They came in and really just
What?
put a history into them. The main bully has a brother who went through A-Day, who had been so excited to meet the Avengers, and then everything happened, and his brother's gone. And
Oh, wow.
I think the actor really infused a lot of that weight into his performance.
Kill more of us? What? No. No?
Absolutely.
What is it then? And humans get you
Ooh.
going? Come on, fellas. Sympathize.
Stop! Are you okay?
Candle Kid's got a girlfriend.
And this is where we kind of first see Kamala use her
Check out her
powers,
What?
not necessarily offensively, but defensively, I guess you could say.
Well, she's been told for 5 years by her dad to never use them.
What are you
And
doing?
she has worked on them in private, but when faced with an actual situation where she needs them, she kind of can't help herself.
Freakish and purple, and then they took them away. Hey, take it easy.
Ooh,
Stop! I said stop!
there we go.
But at the same time, this moment also kind of reaffirms everything her dad's been telling her about her powers. So she's got a real struggle here of, is she dangerous? Should she
let's go.
have powers? Should she be free?
You're tiny dancer.
Yeah,
What do I
and
do with this?
here's
We
like,
also yeah.
go ahead,
We
sorry.
like the complicatedness here of someone can believe in the Avengers and love the Avengers and miss Cap, but not be supportive of Inhumans
Gotta move.
at the same time. We wanted that conflict there. That maybe you believed in some superheroes, but now a bunch of people have crazy dangerous powers, and you're still just as scared as anybody else of that.
So I know we're at time, but if you need to go, feel free to. I was hoping to at least get to the MODOK scene, but let me know.
I think I can wait until the MODOK scene.
Okay, I will try not to get caught.
Good luck.
This stealth section surprised me a little bit.
I love the tonal difference between this and some of the other levels.
Oh yeah. I'm not like usually any good at stealth games, so I was scared. But it's interesting that you don't actually fight with Kamala until much later. Was that like a
think that-
narrative choice?
Exactly. We really wanted it to be clear that Kamala is struggling with whether or not she should use her powers. So you see that moment where she hurts somebody, and she's not. She's still really struggling with it. And it's only when pushed into a corner that she can't help herself. And over the course of the game, she really figures out that there are ways to use your powers without it being, hurting people.
Mm-hmm. All right, I think I'm good. Almost there.
Kamala, think. Somewhere they won't find you. Sewers.
I also thought it was fun that her fanfic was Avengers versus the evil sewer lizards, and then she ends up in a sewer.
Oh, it's true. I didn't realize that until now, until I made that connection. It's all very poetic for Kamala.
Mm-hmm.
Sewer lizards, here I come.
And she said it right there.
Yep.
Sewer lizards, here I come.
Oh no. This is way more ew.
Then get down.
I love this Monica moment where she kind of appears as a silhouette.
Yeah. Jolene is so scary in this. She really
Yeah.
is. As Monica, it's so good.
Just playing it now, I just like realize how much I miss playing this campaign.
I know.
Because we've all played it like a countless amount of times.
Exactly.
And it just never gets old. And we're not just saying that, everyone. I'm not just saying that. I really love
No, I
it.
missed it.
Pushing downstairs is not how I imagined this day ending. Things got humans looking for me too? Who can teleport?
And there's Tiny Dancer.
Hell yeah. Alright, here's the Modoc scene. If I can just get up the ladder. Apparently, I can't get up the ladder. Wait, is this... Okay.
Looks clear.
So, in a lot of video games and a lot of narratives, the good guy escapes.
Mm-hmm.
In this case, she doesn't. I mean, not yet. But, like, was this something that you guys always knew you wanted to put, like, a real introduction into what Tarleton has become?
We did. We wanted him. We wanted to show that he doesn't see himself as a villain. He sees himself as a victim of what happened on A-Day. He sees Cap as a victim of what happened on A-Day.
Interesting,
And
yeah.
his choice after that is to try to make no one else become a victim of superpowers, of the Avengers getting really cocky, of superheroes getting really cocky, because look what happens. Look who gets hurt. And Kamala easily could have gone that way. She is technically a victim too, from Tarleton's perspective. From hers, not at all. But from Tarleton's perspective, she was there on A-Day. She saw what happened. She now has this disease called being an Inhuman.
Mm-hmm.
So he thinks he can relate to her.
And as you said, in some ways they can. They just decided to branch off in completely different directions, but they are kind of had the same, in a sense, an origin story of sorts,
Exactly.
right?
Yeah. And it's what happens when, one person reacts as, I need to stop this from ever happening again, and the other person says, well, but I want to know exactly why it happened. I need to know the truth.
Do you think that Kamala actually considered his proposal in this scene?
I think she heard him voice thoughts she probably had, especially when she was talking to her father, but I think her conviction when it comes to the Avengers, especially after she saw that video, would never have let her accept it. But I
just guess
think
the past
she's
was
hearing
bad,
things
and
that
they
her
didn't know
own
she'd
thoughts have
get it.
said over the past
She's
5
doing
years,
right.
and she's just had
Her
to
infection must be getting worse.
blot them out. Because if she thinks about
I
it
didn't
too
mean to
long,
hurt
she might,
anyone.
Of course
you
not.
know, really
But
crumble,
what
really
happens when you lose control again?
lose the parts of her that she likes.
What happens?
And she
when
is that
you
beacon of hope, and she just
hurt
really needs
someone
to
that you
hone into
love?
that, especially in a moment like this.
Even the Avengers
Exactly.
had to suffer for their hubris.
Hey, were you there?
And right here, she has that
I mean,
moment where,
when Cap died.
yeah, he's saying a lot of things that, you know, like you
Were you
said,
there?
are resonating with her, and she's like,
Yes.
wait a second,
I
I'm gonna
just
use
see-
this.
Monica
this
found
video.
me, and her regenerative formula saved my life. Come on, Kamala. Let's do this. Yes? Let AIM help you.
Oh, that like let AIM help you
I'll
thing.
take my chances.
I made like a few gifs of that because it was so creepy.
Well done, Kamala. You just outed yourself as an inhuman. Stupid. What were you thinking, huh? Join the resistance? Become some kind of hero?
And this is when she kind of has her calling. She's gonna leave her life behind and just go for it. Is that what's
Probably
happening here?
punish them for
Yeah,
hurting.
she, you know what? She's just gotten proof that what she saw is really suspicious, and now it's time to find somebody to help. Now,
it-
I have to bow out,
Yeah, this is the perfect place to stop, actually.
but thank you guys. This was really, really fun. This is very nostalgic getting to see all of this
Resistance has to
again.
know what to do.
Yeah, and we're gonna see you again on Thursday, which, however, we decide to skip a few scenes here and there.
All right. Thanks,
But
everybody.
thank you, Hannah. Everyone say goodbye to Hannah.
Bye.
Here we go. Okay. So, I am actually still in game. The controller is like really rumbling right now as things are going on. Let me like exit to main menu. So, yeah, we are going to continue on with this. Tomorrow, we're going to meet Keanu from the narrative team at Nixie's as we probably go over like Utah and Hulk and everything, because we want to take a trip down memory lane, and this is something that we just want to give more explanation. These next two streams are not going to have any major announcements, so I'm going to manage expectations there. This is just a time for us to play the game, to replay the Reassemble campaign, and just to talk to you guys and ask you what your favorite moments were. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. I am alone right now, everyone. I will. This is the portion of the stream where I talk about what weird thing I have eaten before. No, I'm not going to do that. Don't worry. So, yeah. Thank you to Hannah. We're going to talk to her again on Thursday, along with another member of the team, Anthony. I'm going to introduce you guys to so many members of the team throughout all these streams, and it's something that I'm personally very passionate about. But Friday is the Hawkeye Showcase. We will show everything that you guys, no spoilers, of course, but we will show his skills and some of his outfits in gameplay. Hope you guys enjoy this. We know there's not any crazy announcements for these, but these are just for fun, and hopefully you guys like them. So tomorrow at 11 a.m. Nope, not 11. 10. Tomorrow at 10 a.m. we have Keanu, and we have a new person on the community team that's going to join us. I'm going to introduce you guys to her. And then on Thursday, Hannah's going to join us along with Anthony, who is a producer on our team. And I think Kim is also going to join us on Thursday as well. It's going to be a party. Throw up the infographic. Okay, I will throw up that infographic right now as I leave. But thank you guys for coming. I'll see you guys tomorrow at 10 a.m. And yeah. Can't wait to show you guys more. I am still here, by the way. Andy leaked. There is an Iron Man outfit coming on Thursday, guys. There is a Iron Man outfit. That's all I'll say for it. All right, I'm gonna leave now. Bye, everyone.